What is good, my people, my peeps? Don't act like you're not behind me. What is good, my people, my peeps? If you've seen the title, it says December 4th, 1971. I have been sitting around today trying to, you know, carry on with the rest of the day's activities, finishing up whatever I had to do for work. But something stayed on my mind. Something stayed on my mind, and it was the fact that that paperwork that I got today. If you were on my live earlier today, you know I went to the doctor and I got paperwork, and it said the COVID Coco that I got the jab June. I mean December 12th. No, December 4th, 71. December. What I keep saying? Yeah, December 4th, 1971. Let me let that sink in for a minute. Now, when I asked the people in the doctor's office regarding the information that was put on this medical record, because that's what it is, consider a medical record, a medical document, why did it state that I got the COVID jab December 4th, 1971? And they kept telling me, oh, no, 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 this is a mistake. I don't understand why they would have put that on there. And I was thinking about that today after I got off the live with you all. And, I always thought you put parentheses around something that you want to emphasize or to stand out. Like today when I showed you guys how they put on there that I got the jab back in 1971. And I even, when I got home, and if you were on the live, I highlighted where it said that they gave me the jab in 1971, December the 4th, 1971. And I kept being confused. I kept thinking maybe they messed up on my birthday. Were they trying to put my birthday down? But I wasn't born in December. But I definitely was born in 1971 on the 4th, June, in the summertime. And it just hit me as I've been going through my day thinking, wondering why would they put December 4th, 1971? That's not a typo. We've been in the 2000s here for almost a decade, going on almost a decade. So I can see if there was a typo of putting 2020, maybe long shot, because we're going into 2022. That's a typo. 2020, 21, not 1971. That's not a typo. So I was thinking, December 4th, 1971. They have on that documentation, that medical record, and it was probably he, because I had not gotten that kind of statement before, mind you, leaving the doctors. I've gotten other statements. And today's events played out to me over in my mind because I play things over in my mind. I put things together like a puzzle piece to make it make sense, right? that printout that doctor gave me. I don't think he was supposed to have given me that printout, y'all. And another thing that came to me, every doctor's appointment that I have had at that particular clinic, the doctor comes in, but also there is I don't want to say they're always a nurse, but there's always somebody else in the room with myself. It'll be the doctor, and it'll be a nurse or an assistant, and they have their little computer roll around computer deck, and they're typing what the doctor is saying. Okay? Today, the nurse came in, which like they normally do. You know how they take you back. I waited for a while, quite a while. Then the doctor came in, but it was just the doctor and I, which was odd now that I think about it, because that's not how it normally goes down at that particular facility. They normally have somebody else in the room with you. I found that to be odd. I think people, like I mentioned my honey pot popo, talking about how he want to protect me. This doctor today, I think there are people who are in on the know regarding us as chosen ones, as target individuals, and they dropping the dime. They giving you the 411. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. So I want to say this, and I don't want to really think about even possibly having the jab, because we know what is said about the jab and all of that. So I wouldn't want to say that I have the jab, but it's on my mind, and it's been on my mind. So I just got to speak about it. So today I went on Google because it was bothering me. Why would they? And I even made a point to tell that nurse, why would they put COVID as if I got the jab? Hold on, this car's about to turn off. Hold on. The car's off. Why would they put COVID 19 and in parentheses put 1? In parentheses, that's highlighting an activity in writing. Before, back in the day, before we had highlighters, in written words, that's highlighting. So I said to myself, no, y'all follow me. Hold on, let me put y'all down for a minute. I'm rotating out. Y'all wait a minute. I'll be all discombobulated. Y'all wait a minute. Because I have a theory. And it's bothering me. It's not a great theory. It's kind of eerie to me, to say the least. They put, hold on, let me get in here. Little coat, they got to go. Okay. So they put the 1 in parentheses, right? So I went to Google and I Googled parentheses, in writing. Why would you use a parentheses, right? And it said exactly what I thought it would say. Why you would use a parentheses. You use parentheses in writing when you are showing a part of something in writing, or fragment of something in writing, or a number of something in writing. You use a parentheses. So they had a parentheses on COVID-19, parentheses 1, and then across on my documentation, on my paperwork from the doctors, across from there it said December 4th, 1971. Y'all, pick up what I'm putting down. Y'all, this is eerie because I'm thinking this is like coming together like a puzzle piece. What if I got the jab? Now, don't think this is funny because I'm not happy about thinking about this. What if I got the jab in 1971? And you're going to be like, well, how would you get the jab? Because I'm thinking to myself, how would I get the jab in 1971? I was an infant. I was born in June, which means infants back then and to this day, we got, what do we get? We got immunization shots, right? We got shots, booster shots and all of that. Our parents took us to go get immunization shots from the doctor. So I'm like, well, dang, I can't remember what age do infants, when they start, because they don't get them like right when they come out the hospital, but they start at certain ages getting those immunization shots, right? So I'm thinking, I'm born June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So that's 7 months. I go to Google, y'all. I ask Google, what age is it when you start to give infants their immunization shots? And it had the timeline, right? And I see 6 months on there. Now, on that documentation today, it said December 4th, 1971, which would have put me at 7 months, which would not have been odd for a parent to miss a month to go get their child the immunization shots. Follow me, because I know this might sound weird to you all, but it's even weirder that was down there on that paperwork, on a medical documentation. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm thinking, what if I got the jab? Truly, I hope somebody, if you follow what I'm putting down, what if they jabbed me up in 1971, y'all, as an infant? What if they jabbed a lot of us up as infants? Because I cannot, hold on, let me wash my hands real quick. I cannot recall, hold on. Well, I can recall. I've not gotten COVID. I've never gotten COVID. Okay, guys? I never got COVID. I've never been sick. But people in my family have caught COVID and gotten sick. My brother got COVID. Hold on, I got to season this up. Boy, I know they got this butt in here. This ain't enough seasoning for the sister. Let me show y'all I'm eating some asparagus tonight. My brother's gotten COVID. So, and other people in my family have gotten COVID. I have not got COVID. I'm thinking, what if I haven't gotten COVID because I got the COVID injection in 1971? What? Maybe they've been watching and they know, because you have to remember, we as black folks, Israel, been guinea pigs for the longest. Maybe I got the jab when I was an infant in I know this sounds crazy, but we living in a crazy world, right? We are living in a crazy world. So, I was thinking about this stuff in here real quick. Putting that stuff in here. Y'all gotta drink healthy. I got this. I'll get back on topic. I want y'all to try these green drinks. Y'all see the name? Soja. The organic green drinks. Drink something healthy. But look. Bring y'all over here. Finish off my green drink. I know it may sound crazy to you all, and if you didn't see my live earlier today, this theory that I'm talking about may seem crazy to you, but I'm going to show you one more time. Maybe I should put this on my stand here. Because people, we as chosen ones, as target individuals, we try to figure out what's going on. God, be more careful. I can't even get this thing on here. Okay. We try to figure out what's going on as chosen ones, as targeted individuals, right? So I'm going to show this one more again because some people might not have seen it live earlier. So I got this from my doctor's office today. This is like what was talked about in my visit. And they said that I got COVID-19. You see in parentheses this one, and I kept asking them, that looks like I got the jab. I never got the jab. And so when you follow through, it says I got the jab originally, my original date that I first got that jab was December 4th, 1971. And at first, it threw me because I'm thinking, maybe they got my birthday mixed up. What is going on? Why would they even put that there? Because I never got the jab. Yeah, I'm stuck because I'm trying to figure this puzzle out. Why would they say I got this jab, Coco? I got my first one in 1971. December 1971. And they said I had the flu shot
October the 1st, and that date I never got the flu shot then. But this is the date I'm concerned with. This is the date that seems like it's straight out of the Twilight Zone. So let me turn you guys back around. So that's why when I was thinking today, I said to myself, what if I got the original shot in 1971? I know it sounds mad, sounds crazy. But we're going to look at really quick. I know I'm dusting off my iPad really quick. We're going to look up parentheses and why you would use parentheses. Now, this is a doctor's office. Why would they use parentheses? Gosh, whoa. Let's go to Google. Oh, matter of fact, let's ask YouTube University. Why do you use parentheses in a sentence? And see what they say. Grammar. Hold on. I want when to use parentheses. This little flies, what the heck? We got an issue. We got a little issue. I bought a new plant, and I think it got them little gnats in it. Okay, hold on. When do you use parentheses? Search. We're going to ask YouTube University. Parentheses. Let's see.
This town is turning into a fairy tale. You know there's only one thing that can happen.
Hey everyone, welcome to another English grammar lesson. Today we're going to be covering parentheses.
Today we're going to be covering parentheses. We're on a mission. I am, at least. I'm going to let y'all follow along.
So what exactly are parentheses? Well, first of all, they look like this, and their job is to surround extra information in a sentence that could be removed without really impacting the meaning or major information in that sentence. Perhaps the most common things that you'll find in parentheses are acronyms, which are multiple letter abbreviations, usually for things like organizations, schools, and leagues. For example, he goes to Michigan State University, MSU. My father played in the National Basketball Association, NBA. I need some paid time off, PTO. Another common use of parentheses is for date ranges or lifespans. World War III, 2150 to 2154, was very deadly. Jim Jones, 1844 to 1900, was a very kind man. We can also use parentheses for page numbers. For homework, please read Chapter 3, pages 43 to 57. And we might also use them for measurements. The model is 2 feet, 24 inches tall. I think you get the idea. The point is, we use parentheses to surround extra information in a sentence, kind of like we would with commas, but for more specific things. And
Bingo.
other than that basic idea, there are really only 3 things that you need to remember when it comes to using parentheses.
Bingo.
First, the stuff in parentheses should always come after the main information.
Woo!
You wouldn't say this.
Okay. I knew it. I told you guys. Something was up. We just had a English grammar lesson really quick. We just had a grammar lesson. This is the major information, like the young man was saying. Anytime you have some major information, that will come first. Coco 19, they said I had 1 dose because it's in parentheses, the number 1. If I had none, it seems like it would be 0. But the odd thing is, it said my first dose was the 12th, December the 12th, on the 4th, December the 4th, 1971. And it's in parentheses over here as well. Guys, I wonder if that was a mistake. That doctor gave me this paperwork. Was that a mistake? For me to actually find out this information. Because we have to remember that anything, even anything involving technology, is not just, it don't just pop up in the year that we're in. They've been knowing information 10, 15 years prior to them even releasing it. They've been dibbling and dabbling with diseases years, guys, before we even know about them. I just found that interesting. I found it very strange. That maybe I'm targeted because I may have been one of their first guinea pigs to get the Coco back in 1971. And I probably wasn't the only first person to get the Coco back in 1971, the jab. And maybe that's another level, another layer to my targeting. Probably watching to see the effects of my targeting. Because they gave me the Coco. Hold on. Hold on.
Did y'all know that there's basically...
Because they gave me the Coco, the jab, in 1971. And that further made me think about, you know what? People have been concerned about the Coco being the mark of the beast. Made me think about it too. Could the Coco be the mark of the beast? But it can't be, because this theory that I have from the paperwork that I got today from the doctor, stating that I had my first jab in 1971, December 4th, 1971. It obviously couldn't be the mark of the beast because I would have been 7 months old. And I know from what the Bible says regarding the mark of the beast, you have to volunteer to take the mark. And being 7 months old, I would not have had a choice at 7 months old. Because I would have been an infant still. So they obviously, if this theory of mine is correct, this is another layer to my targeting. I'm watching the effects of the Coco that I may have in my system. The first jab, 1971. We just looked at paperwork, on YouTube, why they would put information in parentheses, right? To make it stand out. guys. If this plant has gnats in it, I'm gonna have to. We're gonna do something about you. I see some little black gnats flying around. We cannot have that. Yeah, so that's my theory. They might have given me the jab in 1971, y'all. Woo-wee! And that's another part of my targeting. As I was driving around tonight after I went to the store, I was thinking, right before my dad passed away, and right before 2019 came into, brought in Coco. You know, Coco hit right as, I think, around December 2019. That's why it's called Coco 2019, because it hit in that year. My dad, I had caught a cold, right? And right at the beginning of that year. But nobody knew I had caught a cold because, first of all, I wasn't really communicating with my family like that because I had just found out about my targeting in the end of 2016. So 2000, here go those choppers. Get ready to talk. Those choppers come out this late at night. I don't know if y'all can hear them. So, at the end of, it was around December when Coco 19 hit in December, I had caught a cold. But it was a regular cold. I hadn't talked to them. I mean, I talked to them, but I was still kind of shook, trying to figure out what targeting was, what all this program was about. And so I remember being sick around that time, and I remember talking to another TI around that time because both of us had caught a cold around this time. And this TI had suggested, I won't bring his name up, but he had suggested to me to get elderberry, because he said that's really good. That's what he takes, elderberries. And so this was around that time. And I remember my dad, before he passed away, I was in the bed and I was sick, and it wasn't COVID. It was a regular cold because we didn't even know what the Coco was. We didn't, it was still over in Japan or wherever it started, long time, wherever it supposedly had started, right? And it was starting to slowly creep across the waters. But I remember my dad knocked on my door. He had came to I was in an apartment at that time. And he had came to the apartment, and he had cold medicine with him. And I opened the door. I said, "What are you doing here?" And he was like, "Oh, I brought you some medicine." And I never forget it because he bought to my apartment some cough lozenges that were like an organic cough lozenge with honey in it, and just different cold medicine. And he said, I brought this for you. And he gave me the bag, and he said, "Okay, well, I'm gone." He left. At the time, I thought it was strange, but I didn't really, dwell on it. After he passed away in 2021, that thought came back to me. How did he know that I was sick in my apartment to bring me the cough medicine? Because I was sick, but I was not like bedridden sick. Matter of fact, I was gonna go get me some medicine like that next day. But he had already brought the medicine over to my house, my apartment. I mean, when I was staying in my apartment. I find that odd because he didn't know. And then soon after that, um, Coco, she spread across the world. You know, she had us on lockdown. But I never officially got the jab to my knowledge, you know? But this paperwork that I got today from the doctor's office, that to me is very strange indeed, because why would it say that I got the Coco 19 vaccination in 1971? That would only mean that I was an infant getting my immunizations. My parent would have had to take me to get those immunization shots. Now, I'm trying to think back to when I took my son to get his immunization shots. We knew, you know, what shots they were going to get. We know this is a very conniving system, because I can't say that they would have known what shots I was getting. They just could have this is 1971. They could have said anything, that they're giving the right shots, because we know from history, and we know from the, what was it called? When they gave the syphilis to I think it was about 10 or so black men, saying that they were giving them a cure, right? But actually they were giving them syphilis. I can't remember what the project was called. But they lied to these men, and they were giving them more syphilis to see how long they would suffer, what would they suffer from, how long would it take for them to die. Guinea pigs they were used as. But they were told that they were giving them something to help them, health-wise. So when I see this paper, and I see COVID-19 V, one, in parentheses, originally given in December 4th, 1971. Now, we as chosen ones, we as targeted individuals, we try to figure out about this program. And I'm trying to think, well, why would I have gotten the shot? The only thing I can think of is we've always been associated around or with the military, my family. My whole life I can remember we've always been associated in some part, in some aspect of our lives with the military. My uncle was in the Vietnam War. and he was a pilot, a black pilot in the Vietnam War. So that's significant because there was not many black pilots who survived the Vietnam War, but his one of his last flights, they were in a gun battle, and his chopper crashed into the side of a mountain, and his arm was mangled and burnt. And I remember we called him Uncle Cop, and I used to be afraid of him because of his arm being mangled and burnt and deformed from that battle in Vietnam. But he survived and came home, and he would always want me to come to him and play with him, but I was always afraid of him. So this is what I'm telling you. I knew from a little girl that we were always affiliated in some aspect with the military. My aunt, and we don't have like a huge family, but my family structure coming up, I would have to say, if I had to put it like in a category, it felt, well, most likely was middle class, okay? My aunt was married to an officer in the Air Force, and he was a black man, an officer in the Air Force, and they traveled like to Japan and everywhere. And then my brother and I, we would stay with my aunt in between duty stations. When my mother got married to a soldier, traveling, and when you got ready to travel, sometimes the soldier would go first or the family would go with the soldier. But in our instance, my father would go to the next duty station first, set up, and the family would join. Or my mom would go, and my brother and I would stay back and be with my aunt. So I remember my Uncle Cop being a pilot in the military. My aunt, her husband, her ex who passed away, him being in the Air Force. And then my father, when my mother married him, being in the military, the Army. So my whole life, I say, we were affiliated with the military. So I just try to put these puzzle pieces together because I hear some chosen ones and some target individuals say that the military has their hands in this whole operation, in this psyops. Somehow, I'm thinking that they do. Thinking back over my life, there's always been some kind of suspect, looking person lurking, watching. But as children, as teens, you're really not paying attention to that. And I think a lot of us start paying attention to it because it's overt now. It's not covert. It's not hidden anymore. So that's why I say, when I look at this documentation, this paperwork, and it says COVID-19, my first dose was in 1971, December the 4th, 1971. I wouldn't put it past them to have made an utter mistake by giving me this paperwork today. Or maybe it wasn't a mistake that that doctor gave me the paperwork. Just like it may not have been a mistake for my Popo honeypot to pop up every now and again and keep saying that he wants to protect me. Maybe some of these people that have participated in our harassment, our stalking, maybe they've had a change of heart. Who knows? I can't call it. I'm just trying, like I said, to put the puzzle pieces together and make it make sense. And it's really hard for me to make it make sense. When this paper says they jabbed me up in 1971. Now, I have looked at my birth certificate before. Nowadays, for children that are born, millennials that are born, and maybe some what do they call it? Before the millennials or after millennials, Gen X or Gen Zs or whatever, the younger of the after the millennials. I don't know what they put on their birth certificates as far as their nationalities, if they are otherwise known as black people, African American, they may put on there. But I looked at my birth certificate before, and my birth certificate has Negro on it. I remember that it has Negro on it because my brother and I, before my awakening, we laughed at that. Negro? We thought that was funny. Why would it say Negro on my birth certificate? Because at the time we knew of ourselves to be African American, right? Or black, right? Now we knew of the word Negro, but that's something we would say in our family. Negro, please. Negro, it just was something we knew as children within our family, the word Negro. So that's why when my brother and I were looking at my birth certificate or talking about it, and we saw the word Negro on my birth certificate, we busted out laughing because of the jokes within our family. Nothing negative, just we found it funny. Because we still use it today. I might still use it when talking to someone black. I might just be like, Negro, if you don't. But now with my awakening, I understand something very powerful with that word Negro. I understand something that associates me back through my root to Negro land. You see, on the birth certificates of a lot of people of African descent that were here in the Americas, they knew who we were. They know who we are. And if they knew who you were and where your bloodline came from, they put it on your birth certificate. I did not know at the time how significant that word Negro. It has me shaking. What? But you see, through our history, coming over on slave ships and our language being taken, and they thought they had stripped every aspect of our culture. But you see, when you're taking shipments, and you see, we were considered products. Our ancestors were considered products. So, follow me if you will. If you bought or stole product from another land, you didn't want them to know the original, their name, their way to track themselves back to their land. But the buyers that are in this new land, they want to know, where did that product come from? See, the Most High God is clever, because while they, at that particular time, were stripping our language, dividing our families, scattering us up, the tribes mixing us around, the buyers still, when you got up on that block, just like coffee. Where did that come from? Is that Colombia coffee? Did it come from Colombia? Well, it came from Colombia. Well, that price, well, yeah, we're going to pay a higher price for that coffee. It's a Colombian coffee. That coffee bean, yeah, dark chocolate, rich, yeah. Colombian coffee, that's all you need to know. It's Colombian, right? Well, you see, that's what they did with us Israelites. Yeah. You see, the Israelites came from Negro land. And they knew exactly what they had. Fine, a great product. What is on that block right there? What is she? What is she? Oh, well, that one there, she's straight from Negro land. Negro land. Oh, of course they didn't want to say Israel. Yeah, she's a Negro. That's the one I want. And you see, children in the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s, maybe early 80s, look at your birth certificates. See what nationality was typed in before they realized, oops, we have made an utter mistake by putting Negro on their birth certificate. They didn't know the Most High God was going to wake us up one day, and that we And I tell you, I've always seen things in patterns, puzzle pieces, connecting back together. They didn't realize. A lot of us, you and I, we were going to see things in patterns that started to come back together and make sense. Negroes are linked to Negro land, who are linked to Israel. So they know I'm Israel. They've always known. I've talked to you guys about your birth certificate and the significance of your birth certificate and how you are stock, no matter if you're so-called white, black, whatever. But they know the products that they have out here circulating in the stock market, your birth certificate being moved around, sold, bought, cashed in. And you're out here as the straw man. They know the value of each of us and who we are. And they made an utter mistake when they put Negro on our birth certificates. So, being Negro, being Israel, why that man would not tell me what my blood type was today. He knew. But I think the doctor gave me more information than he bargained on giving me. They knew. And I wouldn't put it past them to have given me the Coco 19 back in 1971. You see, this disease is not new. Just like these cell phones that we hold in our hands are not new. And I think this is just me surmising, trying to come up with why is this on this paperwork? Why do I see from the doctor's office today? COVID-19, in parentheses. That means to highlight, to stand out. That means one was given. Originally given December 4th, 1971. They said they gave me a flu shot. They gave me one. Look at my hand shaking. They gave me one. This year, the 10th, October the 1st, which was a Saturday. We looked that up earlier. This blows my mind here. COVID-19, one dose, given in 1971. Meaning, if my thoughts are correct, if my theory is correct, that was given to me as an infant, as what should have been my 6-month booster, my 6-month immunization shots. Hold on for a minute. I'm burning up my stuff. which means to me, it's, first of all, like I said, and I'll reiterate this, that to me cannot possibly be a typo. Cannot possibly be a typo. That to me was a mistake that doctor gave me this printout today. That to me indicates that I've been a guinea pig for a long, long time. That indicates to me that I've had the jab since 1971. So it cannot possibly be the mark of the beast because it has to be a choice to get the jab. I was an infant, 7 months old in 1971. That was part of what would have been considered my immunizations for infants to keep them safe in daycares. But back then, we weren't really in daycares because families took care of each other back then. But entering schools, And I can recall growing up how hippies used to protest about getting immunizations, and they made them to look weird and crazy. They don't want to give their children these immunizations to make them safe. Well, just like they look at you targeted individuals, you chosen ones now, and say you don't want the jab, thinking you may not have had it like I, thinking I never had the jab and don't want it. Well, God diggity dog, you may have just gotten it in 1971 as an infant, as part of the package of lies. And before I get off of here, I don't want you to think I'm hyping myself up. Oh, how do you know you a Negro? How do you know you came from Negro land? I will produce my birth certificate. And like I say, you should look at your birth certificate. If you're a millennial, I don't know, they probably put African American on your birth certificate to throw you off the path. I think that's why this whole push for ancestral DNA and all of these different companies that are ran by Aussie, how do you say those Jewish people? Aussie, whatever Jewish. They're all ran by them. All of them. Ancestral.com. Where did you come from? Because they probably lost track after they started putting African American on your birth certificates. Hold on. Okay. This, let me hide some of this information. Because, you know, you got some demons on here peeping in. Some of you guys, when you have to go renew your driver's license or things of that nature, you have to go get a birth certificate. Yeah, I hide with Spectrum. And you'll get something along this line saying what county it's from, you know, this generic looking birth certificate. Let me see if I can show something that says certificate of record. This is what they use to trade you on the stock market. Certificate of record, right? On this particular one, it has female, my name, my mother's name, where I was born, date filed, issued, June 4th, 1971. Let's let y'all see that, at least so y'all know. I don't want y'all to see my maiden name, because y'all be knowing too much information. But y'all see my birth date. Y'all see that? 1971, June 4th, 1971. This is what you probably getting at. I'm gonna pull out the old school, the real deal. This is the original birth. You see how old it is? Let's get into it. I'm gonna show you. See, some of my people come from Pennsylvania. That's beside the point. Where is it at? If you have your birth certificate, my people, my peeps, not this little, you know, certificate from whatever county, because you need to go get your ID card or your driver's license real quick. I'm talking about your full birth certificate that has all the information. What time was I born? Let me see. Somebody asked me that the other day. Oh. I hereby certify this child was born alive on the date stated above at 7:34 p.m. I thought I was born in the morning. I thought I was born in the morning, y'all. I thought I was born in the morning time. I was born at 7:30 p.m. I was born at night, but I was born at night. What is that saying? I might have been born at night. No. God dog it, I can't remember the saying. People used to use it all the time back in the day. I can't remember. Anyway, let me stick to task here. I want to show you so that you will see for yourself. Y'all seen and I'm gonna turn it this way so y'all can see it good. You all have seen that I was born. Turn this around so that y'all can get a good look. You all have seen that I was born in 1971, June. That's Biloxi County, Texas. Do you see Negro? Do you see Negro? Color or race? Negro. They don't put that on birth certificates anymore, my people, my peeps. What does your birth certificate say about you? Mine? When me and my brother laughed at that when we saw it, because we were young, we didn't understand the significance. color, or race. They identified who you really were in my era. Now they probably just put, I don't even think, on that new county one. No, female. They know who you are. They know who I am. That's why I say this right here, this COVID-19, one vaccination in 1971. This right here, COVID. We looked up, Google it, turn on your YouTube University, in parentheses, one, meaning that is significant. That's how many it was. When did I get this? They say they made a mistake giving me this paperwork today. One, originally December 4th, 1971. Like I said, I was just driving around because that just played in my mind over, and it started bringing up these puzzle pieces. Well, what does your birth certificate say? Why would that say 1971? You were born in June 1971. You would have been 7 months old. That would have been a shock from infancy. Your immune system, not immune system, your immunity, whatever they call it. So your parents would have took you to get that shot, probably not knowing. Your birth certificate says Negro. Puzzle pieces that I myself am putting together. I don't know how many of you guys have your original birth certificates. I don't even know. This to me, for me to even have my original, and I want you guys to know that I am looking at my birth certificate. I'll let you see Texas. I'll let you see that that is a birth certificate. Okay? A birth certificate that indicated my date of birth, June 4th, 1971, Negro child, color, race. There are many levels to this targeting I see. And maybe since I didn't succumb, and I don't know if I got this jab. It says I got it when I was an infant. But one thing I do know as a chosen one, as a target individual, that they have, and one of their tactics is to take us out. Hold on. One of their missions is to take us out. My people, my peeps. We probably will never know exactly why. I mean, everybody won't know. I know one thing for sure, that I am Israel. I know that for sure. Why everyone is targeted, I don't know. All I can surmise is that you're here because you have a mission. That's not to be said for a cliche, for just to say it. You have a mission. It is the truth. Why your parents and family and close friends will turn on you, most likely because they know who you are. Most likely because they know who you are. And they know the closer and the stronger you get to standing in your purpose, that you're going to see who they are. So they sell you out with the kiss, just like Judas, with intimacy, the intimacy of being able to be close to you. I'm not saying my mother they knew that they were going to give me a jab. I don't even know if this is accurate, but it's very crazy to state that this was given to me in 1971. Very odd to state that. That's even hard to make a typo of 1971 when we've been in 2022, going into 2023. We've been in the millennial for a minute. I've been saying the curtain is the veil is lifting. Been saying that for a minute because from what I've seen, and maybe I got this jab to slow down what I would be able to see, what I would be able to uncover. Or maybe they thought when they gave me, from what this paperwork says, the jab in 1971, that I would succumb to the jab. And I didn't. And that's a possibility of why I'm on the list as well. Who knows? But this is a very, very interesting ride that we are on. And for me, it's truly interesting because if you never believed in the supernatural, like I really didn't believe in it until it happened to me. If that is one of the gifts that will be revealed to you, yeah, this ride is going to be very interesting, to say the least. very interesting, to say the least, I must say. So I thought I'd just stop in real quick before I got something to eat to talk about the puzzle pieces that are coming together and what made me think about my birth certificate and it's saying Negro and this doggone doctor's visit today saying that they gave me the jab in 1971. And you know, I don't know if you all have been on social media and have heard of the, what is it called? The Mandela effect and how things and timelines shift and I try not to look at too much of that because it just seems so strange, right? Very strange, but people have evidence. You know, when I was coming up, they had the, what was that door prize? I can't remember. It was you collected all these stamps, and Ed McMahon would show up at your house with a big check and say, "Oh, you won the whatever that sweepstakes was called." And people are saying, "Oh, that doesn't exist. That never existed." And I'm like, "Oh no, I remember that." And they say that timelines shifted. The Mandela effect has happened. Publishers Clearinghouse, that's what it was. The Publishers Clearinghouse. And people would get those little stamps in. Ed McMahon would show up with balloons and a big check. You won. And people say that never happened. People say they have Googled it and looked it up and it's not showing up in their timeline. So that's what made it very freaky for me. Before I get out of here, I'm showing this one more again. One more time. Just for giggles. Leaving the doctor's office today. Getting this, preventative care follow-up. Saying that I had the COVID-19. I had one dose. Originally, back in December 4th, 1971. So tell me, is that part of the Mandela effect, or am I just tripping? I don't know. But anyway, I'm out of here, and much, much love to you all.